Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great Easter. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. You know it. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I am ticked off this morning. I don't know if you guys could sense. I can see it when I start recording these videos when I'm really angry. There's two stories. Originally, I wanted to talk about Governor Greg Abbott, Texas, and his proposed pardon of a man who intentionally drove to a Black Lives Matter protest. This guy actually tweeted on the way to this protest saying that he might have to off somebody that day. He drives there and he ends up doing exactly that. And Governor Greg Abbott wants to use the stand your ground exception for pardoning this guy who intentionally drove to a protest, angry, armed, and took somebody out. And Governor Greg Abbott wants to pardon him. I found a story even that ticked me off even more. And the problem here is that Donald Trump running for president, he's talked about this. This is, of course, I saw Lindsey Graham on a morning news shows yesterday. And of course, Lindsey Graham is a suck up little toady for Donald Trump. And he talked about this yesterday. And some of the terms Lindsey Graham used in his Sunday morning show yesterday just makes me livid. I mean, I want to smash things in my home. Seriously, that's how angry I am. And like I said, Donald Trump has talked about doing this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about going to war with drug cartels in Mexico. Okay? I'll have the link for this down below. Yesterday morning, I'm watching the Sunday news programs, and Lindsey Graham's on, and he's being interviewed. And he says, he's just had it, that this foreign country is declared war on Americans. The drug cartels, that they killed 70,000 Americans last year. So we have every right to go into Mexico using our army and our armed forces. This is a country trying, actually purposely killing 70,000 Americans last year. And that's what enraged me. Okay, now some of you are probably saying, what? This is a big problem, Daryl. Okay, the term he used. First, look, you know what? For me, this isn't about Mexico at all, or the drug cartels. This is about addiction. I'll say it again, I'm a 16 and a half year recovering addict. I was a hardcore, every hour of every day, crack cocaine and heroin addict, okay? And when he says this now picture this. Let me, I don't even know where to start with all this. Okay, the intentions of the drug cartels. Is it first of all, is it to kill 70,000 Americans? What good are dead Americans to people? What's their prime purpose, the drug cartels? To make money, without a doubt. I've talked about this before. Are they a political organization? Are they religious? Because Lindsey Graham wants to declare them a terrorist organization. What's their prime objective? Business, to make money. How are they going to make money? By killing their customers. How is that going to make them profits? Here's the big problem I have with this. What killed those 70,000 Americans wasn't poison. What killed those 70,000 Americans was addiction, was freaking addiction. What he's doing is he's enabling every addict in America right now by saying, look, it's not your fault. You're telling the parents, the relatives, the people using right now, it's not your fault. You're being poisoned. This terrorist organization is doing this to you. Why did I get help? Because I admitted that I am an addict, that I was an addict, and I had a problem. And I was always going to have that. I had a disease, and I was always going to have that disease. That's why I eventually got help. By Lindsey Graham saying that these Americans were poisoned, he is completely taking away the power of recovery for the hundreds of thousands, the millions of addicts in this country. He's taking away the main tool that groups like NA, AA, all the recovery groups use to get people into recovery by blaming this on them. Okay, then there's, I don't even know where to start with this. Alcohol. How many drunk driving crashes? How many deaths from drunk driving? Usually about 10,000 a year, about 28 people a day. Okay, that's not 70,000 people. I'll give you that. Okay, what's the cause of drunk driving? People drinking and then getting in their car. Okay, we want to stop that. We want to stop that. So let's make alcohol illegal. That way, they can't get the alcohol, then they can't drunk drive, and there'll be no drunk driving deaths, right? Prohibition, we already went through that. That didn't work. Matter of fact, that made things even worse. Why? Why didn't that work? Because the people that wanted to drink got the alcohol anyway, and it grew illegal businesses and illegal organizations that wanted to provide it for them. Where there's a demand, there's a supply. Right now, it's Mexico, and the drug cartel's there. So say we go in there with the army. What do you think is going to happen? Where do you think the problem of fentanyl and opiate addiction is just going to disappear? Addicts are going to say, "Oh well, I can't get it. I'm going to go clean." No, man, no, absolutely not. They're going to, first of all, they're going to go to another drug. That's exactly what I did. Every day, I started out using pills, and then I moved up to heroin. And when I couldn't get heroin, I went to crack cocaine or any other drug that I could get. I never went home with that money, never. Okay, now say we actually go into Mexico and invade Mexico, take away the money for addiction recovery, for methadone, Suboxone, for recovery programs, beds for addicts. Take that money away, use millions or billions of dollars to invade another country. What do you think? Where do you think those organizations are going to do? They're just going, oh well, we're out of business here. Lock us up. No. You know all the countries that are in Central America and South America? Real easy. They just moved the organization down a little further south. That's where most of the main organizations are anyway. So what are we going to do then? Just keep rolling down into Central America, South America, go to war with the whole continent of South America? Because that's basically what we'd have to do. They could just move the organization. The organization has ties down in Colombia, all these other countries. So I don't think it would even be a big problem for them. The main problem here is they're taking away the emphasis on addiction here by Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump and these people saying that 70,000 Americans were poisoned. It takes the focus off of the true problem of addiction. Like I said, where there's a demand, there's going to be a supply. This isn't about terrorism. This is about money. It's about money. It's not about ideology. It's not a terrorist organization. It is a business organization. And when you falsely target the wrong, when you target the wrong thing and label it in the wrong way, I can't imagine this turning out good. Okay, now what about the kids? Now you say, well, Daryl, what about these pills they sneak up here that are supposed to be Molly or something else, and they put fentanyl in them? Isn't that poisoning? What about my kid going to college, Daryl? What about him? Well, you're going to have to teach your kid better. What if I went out and I picked up dog poop and I ate it and it killed me? Are you going to go out there and kill the dog? Is it the dog's fault? No. Teach your kid. All I could say is teach your kid not to take any pill. That's photo. You know, I learned that, but I still got into drugs. It wasn't my mother's fault. It was the problem here is addiction. It's not the cartels in Mexico, because if we somehow roll into Mexico with tanks and guns and kick down doors of every other house in Mexico, and the billions of dollars that would cost, it won't do a damn thing. And plus, it'll tell all the addicts that are all the people using here in America that it's not their fault. They're being targeted by these terrorist organizations. They're just good Americans popping pills here and there or using fentanyl or heroin. You know, they're just good Americans. And the problem's not with them. The problem's with the drug cartels poisoning them. It's a bad message, man. It's a deadly message. That's all I got to say. The links will be down below. Have a good Monday. Oh, recovery is possible. Have a good Monday.